Hey everybody, Popcan Dan. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys like my last video. I know it started off a little bit somber for a first video. I talked about working on that cold case, volunteering with Chris Delat and his father and the Bradford Beeper. I didn't want it to be too somber, but it was something I wanted to get off my chest, and it was something that really affected me, not in a bad way. It was something good, and I wanted to share that with people. So I hope that wasn't too somber, but it was, I think it was a pretty neat story, and I wanted to share that with everybody. Um, hey, what do we got today, man? Let's see. I don't know. I have no clue what today brings. I have a list of stuff I want to talk about. I look at the list and I'm going, okay, let's talk about that, and then press record and off we go. So let me look at the list and we'll figure it out. I think I might have a song for you guys today. Let's see, man. Let's see what I got. All right, friends, this is something that's kind of caught on this year. I think it was my second year doing it. I did it last year, like 2020 and 2021. I just started to get so frustrated. All I was finding was buckles and spoons. And I'd get so frustrated. And then I would get a match where I would find one of each. And I started to get excited whenever I found one of each. I got a buckle and I got a spoon. And if I just got a buckle and I didn't get a spoon, I'd be angry. Or if I just got a spoon and not a buckle, it was almost like those two are a match made in heaven for me. I don't know why. I've just adapted this whole buckles and spoons thing, and I started singing. I just made up a song one day on video when I said I got buckles and spoons, pop cans finding them buckles and spoons. Anyways, and it caught on, and people started to repeat it back to me, like on Facebook and on YouTube responses, and they say, I love the song, you got to make it into a song. Well, folks, I promised you I would make it into a song, and guess what I did? I made it into a song. I actually, you'll see. It's not a blockbuster. It's not going to be top of the charts, but it's funny and it kind of sums up everything for me. So nice little short song. Hope you guys like it. Check this out. Buckles and spoons, buckles and spoons, pop cans finding them buckles and spoons, people finding gold and silver doubloons, but I'm finding buckles and spoons, buckles and spoons, buckles and spoons, pop cans finding them buckles and spoons, people finding gold and silver doubloons, but I'm finding buckles and spoons. I wish I was finding other things, like a mercury dime or a wedding ring. I wouldn't have to sing about buckles and spoons, cause pop cans finding them buckles and spoons, people finding gold and silver doubloons, but I'm finding buckles and spoons. One more time, buckles and spoons, buckles and spoons, pop cans finding them buckles and spoons, people finding gold and silver doubloons, but I'm finding buckles and spoons. What am I finding? I'm finding buckles and spoons. One more time, I'm finding buckles and spoons. Okay, here's a question. I kind of it started as a something on Facebook. I just posted it up. I kind of threw it out there on my post on Facebook, and people started to answer. And I said, you know what? I want to save this for one of my winter videos. And I thought it was a great question. And what I just threw out there to people was, have you ever been present when somebody found something that was just, we'll call it a lifetime find, and you were there when they found it? It's just, I've had the pleasure of being, I'll say twice that no, three times, sorry, three times. Let me get that right. For me, it was The first one was with Redbeard. I think it was like 2018 maybe. We it was in one of the videos, and we were doing this house, and from 1830, and the guy that the original owner that lived there, or the second owner, whatever it was kind of like the minister of agriculture. And I don't know what he did, but we found all kinds of strange things on his lawn, like medals, medallions, and things like that from like the late 1800s, like agricultural fair awards for like having the best cow and different things, weird things. But it was DJ's find, Redbeard Relic Hunter. I was around the other side of the house, and I heard a scream. Like I'm talking, it's a big property, and I could hear this scream from the other side of the house. I'm like, what the heck was that? Like either I always default back to somebody's being attacked by wolves. I always say that. I don't know why. And I'm like, what the heck? And I come running around the side of the house, and I could see him. He's like, there's a look on his face like I've never seen. Like, if you know Redbeard, he's always the jokester, always trying to get people to laugh. But he had a look on his face. This wasn't even funny. And he was walking towards me, and I'm like, what do you got? And he had it in his hand, and he opened his hand, and he had, I kid you not, the thing was, it was bigger than any coin I had seen. It was probably about this big, and it was about that thick, and it was solid silver. And it was some kind of agricultural award or something from 1888. And it was a beautiful horse on one side. It was all in silver. And it was a beautiful horse on one side. It was like a show horse. The other side had some girl on it or something, like a little girl, and it was all done in silver. It was stunning. I'd never seen it. And I can't say he put a value on it, but I think he did get it appraised, and it was over $2,000. Like, it was a stunner. It was the first time I had ever really been somewhere present when something like that was found. It was like, holy, like, that's not even a joke, man. Like, that was crazy, you know? The second for me was just this year with the Bradford Beeper. We were up in one of his permissions, and I was around. It was like an old house in the middle, treed area, and all around it was farm field. And I said to him, let's do the perimeter out in the field, because it was nice and flat, and it was always cornfield, so we never had a chance to do it. But it was just flat right down to the wood. So we said, let's do it. So we started going. So he was going. Mike goes a lot slower than I do when he detects. I'm not sure if it's because of his hip or not, but he goes a lot slower. And you know, in hindsight, it's probably the better idea. I wonder how much stuff I missed. So I was scooting along, and I get around the other side of the property, and I'm down digging, and I just found part of a nice chrono bell, and I was talking about it, and I just turned off the video, and all of a sudden I hear, and I kind of like look around, and he's around the bend down there in the field, and all I could see is this. He's doing this, and I thought he was like a bird trying to catch flight, but I realized he was doing the coin signal, which it's universal, but he was screaming like I said in the video, like a banshee. Like he was like like crazy. I wish I had it on video, so I went running over. What he got was it was a William the Fourth. I think it was 1837. It's a British token. And it's big, man. It's beautiful too. I'd never seen one before, and I was so excited to see that. Our minds were just racing because it took a while to clean it up. We didn't really know what it was. So that was my second one. The third one just came just this, like, I would say close to December, end of November, December. Last year I found that half real 1785, and Mike, the Bradford Beeper, was present for that. I screamed and he thought I was being attacked by wolves, and he came running over. And the second he heard me screaming, because he knew that it wasn't a joke, and he came running. He wanted to know what was going on, so he scooted over quick. When I showed him the half real, I remember his response, and it was like, I got on the video too, and he looked at me and he goes, "Is this a half real?" And I said, "Yeah." And the look on his face was like, wow. And I got that same feeling this time around when I was detecting with my newfound buddy Evan, Hannah, and Travis. They're my new friends, detecting buddies, and they invited me out to one of their fields. And it was, if you ever watched that video, I can't remember the name of what I named that video, but it was just an absolute slaying of coppers in that field, and they were just popping them. I didn't find anything. I was literally running around with my camera filming these guys popping coppers, and all of a sudden I'm way out in the field, and all of a sudden I hear, I didn't hear at first. I heard a scream like ah, and I look over, and then I hear somebody yell silver, and I'm like, oh, awesome. So I grab my camera and I start walking back. And as I'm getting closer, I hear somebody say, "Is that a real?" And I'm like, oh, you're like, I'm getting chills right now just hearing the name Real. And so I start walking faster, and I got the camera going. I'm bouncing, and I got there just in time while he was cleaning it, and Hannah was leaning over looking at it, and it was her response that got me respond. Like, it was her response that gave me chills when she looked up and she goes, "It's a half real," and I got it on video, and she goes, "It's a half real," and it was so funny, man, and it was phenomenal. Like, just watching, and then he looks at it like this, and he loses his breath. He just goes, and he kind of leans over like this. He's hunched over, and he's breathing heavily, because he wasn't, I mean, here's a guy that just started detecting last year, and he got his first 1800 coin this year. And imagine going from within your first 2 years to finding a real that's on people's bucket lists that most people will never find. And it was a domino effect. Hannah screamed. He hunched over like he lost his breath. It was just a domino effect of everything. And Mike is standing over to the side to Bradford Beeper. He's like, "Oh, wow." So for me, that was phenomenal as well. And okay, here's something I wanted to touch on as well. Finding ethical partners to detect with. That for me, I would say it's a struggle. Not a struggle. I have found great people to detect with, and I guess I'm gonna say the old cliche: I keep my circle small. All right, when it comes to who I detect with, and I'm very, very picky. Been burned a few times in the past, going with people, and either they, I'm not saying they came back to one of my permissions. I don't know if they did or not, but hearing things about them afterwards, and then other people would say, "Why did you detect with that person, man? This because da da da." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know." I've been burned a few times by that, and I have how can I say it? I have standards, man, when it comes to detecting. I really do, and I hold them pretty high, because it's one of those hobbies where you can easily become a bad guy if you're not careful about, and following the code of ethics and things like that. So I'm very careful about who I choose. It started. I had Redbeard. I found Redbeard on Facebook, and I had found just quickly, I'll explain this. I found a field, and I started pulling up early 1800s coins, and I was like, "Wow, man, I want to share this with." That was the point where I realized I'd been a lone wolf up until then. I had always detected alone, and so from 1994 to 2017, I think it was, I always detected alone, and I wanted to start finding people. So when I found this field, I started finding these coins. I said to myself, it was just like an instinct. I said, I want to share this with somebody. I want somebody else to be here with me. And if they want to, if they find coins, good for them. But I want to kind of share this. I don't want to be alone doing this. I didn't make videos at the time. It was, and so on Facebook, Redbeard had always made comments on my things, my finds, and I would talk with him a little bit. I'd never met him in person. And finally, I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "You wanna come detecting? I got this field, da da da, and da da da. I'm not sure if that's a word. Maybe up here in Canada. So da da da." And I mentioned it to him, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to, sure." And I met him near the field. We had to walk about 15 minutes into where we were detecting, and he pulls up in a white van, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get kidnapped, never to be seen again. You know, here I am, a dude pulls up in a white van, walking 15 minutes into the fields. I might as well kiss my keister goodbye. This guy's going to do me in for sure. But no, he turned out to be a great guy, man. And we went into that field, and we chatted, you know, and we kind of forged a friendship going in there. And hey, we did find coins. You know, we popped out a lot of coins, and that's another little segue back to what I was talking about earlier. That I invited him to my field, and he found a 1700s copper the first day I met him when we went to my field. Was I angry? No, because I invited him to that field, and I wanted him to find stuff. I found 4 coppers that day. I wasn't angry. No, sorry, 2 coppers that day. I wasn't angry. You know. He found 2 and I found 2, and it was a great day. And so he was the first guy I started detecting with, and he said to me too. He said, "Keep your circle tight, man, of who you detect with." And I kind of learned that going forward. And we met Mike Dury, the Bradford Beeper, at an event. It was called a show and tell event, where in the springtime, it was a kind of like a little rally, a little meet, and you show your your finds and stuff like that. And he approached us and said, "Hey, you know, my son and I are getting into detecting, and we watched your videos, and we think they're great, da da da." And see, da da da, there it is again. It's like a song, da da da. And talking to him for 5 minutes, I looked at Redbeard, and I said, "I like this guy a lot." And he said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Let's invite him. We got to get him out with us. Well, I think he's a good guy." And we were right. We knew right away. And that he was another good guy to be part of our circle. So, yeah, so we just keeping the circle tight, you know, and I've met a few more people who are great. You know, I'll name Rob Schinkel, Chris Delat, Chris's dad, Albert. There's a few guys out there, man, just good people. And they have a strong code of ethics and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just, you know, I said it 1,000 times, keeping your circle tight. But like I said, we've gone out with other people, and I get a message from somebody else like after, you know, the next week, and they said, "Hey, you were out with so and so." I said, "Yeah," and they said, and then they told me, you know, things, and I'm like, "Oh, are you kidding me? Really?" You know, and I felt stupid. So, for me personally, I'm very, very careful about who I let into my circle. And just most recently was Evan, Travis, and Hannah. They were just phenomenal people. And I actually met Evan. I was driving up near my house, just 2 blocks away, and it's all farm fields. And then there's a soccer field. And I'm driving by the soccer field, and there's 2 people out in the field that's swinging the detector. And I'm like, well, hey, man, I got to pull in here and see what's going on, you know? I pull in, I go walking across the field I'm the mayor, you know, I own the field. You know, look at me, I'm Pop Can Dan, here I come. Oh, and it's the same field that I do my intro in, you know, where I put the detector on my shoulder and get hit in the head. It's in that same field. So I go walking across the field, and I see it's Evan, and he's detecting. He looks up and he goes, "Oh, it's Pop Can Dan." I didn't know if that was a good or a bad thing, but started talking to the guy within 30 seconds. I said, "This guy is mint. I like this guy." just by talking to him, I could tell he was a wholesome, genuine guy. I, me personally, I thought he was like 19 years old. I thought he was a teenager. Turns out he's 27, 28, 27 years old. He's an airline pilot. I mean, the he's married with 2 kids, and I'm like, dude, I don't even think you could buy beer. You're so young. But he's found the fountain of youth, anyways. But so yeah, and that was how I ran into him, and he introduced me to Travis and Hannah. Hannah, by the way, I've nicknamed her the Jedi. That's her detecting nickname, is the Jedi. Evan, because he's a pilot, I call him Autopilot Evan. There's a few nicknames I have for him, but yeah, just good people. And immediately they're in our circle, And the Bradford Beeper said to me, "Where'd you find these guys, man? They're phenomenal, nice people." I'm not saying it's hard to come by in the detecting community, but I've come to realize there's a lot of shysters out there, and I see a lot of stuff online. Somebody invites somebody out to go somewhere to a property, and that person goes back behind their back and detects and stuff like that. I hear it all the time, man. I'm going to finish up just by saying, keep your circle tight and know who you detect with, all right? Bam! Just like that, it's over, man. Just like that, it's over. I keep saying 10-minute videos, but I'm running over 20 minutes every time. I apologize. Hey, hope you like this video, man. I have fun making them. I love to talk. I don't know what the next video is going to bring. That's the beauty of it, man. It's a mystery. I sit down, I have a couple of ideas, I start putting them together, and there you go. So thanks for watching this one. This has been part 2. Let's see what happens in part 3.